So now the calves have calmed right down, and because I just let them out to the garden, and they've been running around because they were able to go all around the flower garden and around the house, and now they're just tired, the little calves. And Rosie and Nuala have been eating plums, wild plums from the plum tree that were lying on the ground, because the cows like fruit also. So I'm just going to sit here and just love this moment. And yeah, we'll do a little video. Just sit here and have a lovely quiet time. Just enjoying life. Life is good. Put the legs up, put the feet up. Ah, this is the life. And I've got my yogurt and honey from the local honey beekeeper. This is clabber. Very delicious. I just eat my yogurt. Yeah, so let's do a little video. Yeah, it's been really fascinating to be able to do all these videos while my husband has been away, just having the free access to the internet, and yeah, just really unfolding a whole lot. It's been very intense also, and really fun. And I've really got to share very much my story about lots of things that I love to share about, but also what happened when I was a young mother, and just how I feel I have been as a mother, and yeah, and in a way. Yeah, so thank you for all your beautiful comments, so many very loving comments, and I'm glad that also you can use this, because yeah, that's really what I wish to share with you, is that we're all brothers and sisters, and it's difficult for everyone. The whole thing of I'm special, it's not hard for me, I do everything right, it just doesn't belong to the new way of being. Because life is difficult for everyone, and everyone has weaknesses, and what is and it's not all about being good or being clever, as we have learnt in life, that the more clever you are, and get to the top of a class and just push all the others aside because when you're clever you're better and all this. It's just stupid. And um, so what's powerful is that we can be there for each other and be good to each other, be kind to each other, and support each other, knowing that we're all really in the same boat. We're all sailing on the same sea, and we're in the same boat. And the more we are centered and connected to our soul, the easier the ride, and the more beautiful the ride will be in the boat. So it's just beautiful to get this sense of oneness with each other. I think that's so powerful. And also, I think, I mean, it's I never thought I'd share so much of my private life on the internet. And in the beginning, there was this thing about, oh, watch out, you don't tell too much about yourself, and they might find out where you live and all these things. But really, I mean, I think it's so powerful to just say, this is my life, and not be frightened. I mean, what because deep down everybody's good, and I think if you're sending out good, if your intention is from your heart, it's good, there's nothing to fear. And the whole thing of the fact that I'm not a professional person, I'm just a person, I think is so wonderful for me. I love just being a human being and being able to share things that I have learnt just because I'm human, not because I'm a doctor or a gardener, or I don't have any education. I don't have any finished any training. I just did high school and then I left. And I was going to become an occupational therapist because that's a very creative. I wanted to do something with a lot of creativity, and I left the course because I just felt so unhappy and felt very wrong for me. So I'm not good at being part of anything. Anything. Yeah, I'm just very much, yeah. But anyway, I think it's wonderful because we're all human beings. And I mean, that is really what mankind has been used to, that people would share their lives, share their story. They didn't have the television, they didn't have all this that could divide everybody. They had their community, and at night when it was dark and it was cold, they would gather together and they would tell stories. And some of them would be from stories that have, I mean, maybe of more spiritual kind, but often it was stories about what has happened to people in the past from their ancestors. And funny or, yeah, incredible stories, interesting stories. And so the whole thing of sharing our lives, sharing what we experience, I think is really, really powerful. And I think it's going to be in the future, that to not be so afraid. The whole thing, if you're too honest, they're going to get to know who you really are. How stupid is that? You want people to know who you really are. You don't have to tell all the details of what's going on inside you and every single thing you've done, because there is a privacy, and yeah, it's not, because some people they just I mean, they talk about their bowel movements and they just talk about every single detail in their life, and it's quite off-putting really, because it's just it's really, you can just sense it, that they're not thinking, what could this person listening to these stories I have, what benefit could they have from this? They're not thinking of that, because they're just these little hurt children that just need somebody to listen. And it gets really uninterested. It's just very, yeah. But still, just what we're experiencing in life, what we feel about life, I think is very powerful to share with each other, and also so that people around us can sense that in some areas we're strong and we have a lot of knowledge maybe, and in some areas we need support. And that way we can all be there for each other, really as a family. And that's, I've sort of learnt this many years ago, or just realised this, that what has been happening to the earth, because I just ask these questions ever since I was little. What's going on? This world is sick, it's mad. What's happening? And for a long time I was very negative and very critical of many things, until I could see the deeper truth in this, that all this has to happen, because the old ways that human beings have been living for thousands of years, with cultures, religions, you had your own system within your community, and the people over on the other side of the mountain, they had a different way, and they were sort of the enemy or the others, and they weren't the right ones, because we were all the right ones. And everything we do is right and real, and our God is right and real, and their God is wrong. And so this whole community thing where you're actually against all the others, so you keep real tight. All this has to die. It has to stop, because it's not. It's of the simple. It's the animal nature, more of the animal nature, where you have these. You have these groups of animals, and they might fight with each other if they get too close to each other, because that's the way nature works. But for human beings, we had to realize that the people on the other side of the mountain, they were people too, and they might call their God something else, but that doesn't make them wrong. And so to realize this, that we have to stop this war that's really been going on. And for this to break down, to just, what do you call it, just dissolve into nothing, these very, very, very strong cultures and very strong families, that it actually had to rot from within, or just break down from within. And that's what we're feeling, we who have the families who have broken down. And well, most people, I suppose, are feeling that things are just not working anymore. And it's simply because it has to dissolve. And we have to, the whole thing of stop relying on your family, stop relying on your culture and your God, or, your religion, not God, and let it go. All the things that you thought were the right way to do things, to understand that there might be an actually much better way to do something, and to just let all these systems go, and then you actually stand very alone and very naked, because everything has more or less, maybe everyone around you has just either run away, or you have run away from them, and you stand there naked, and what happens is that I feel, is you go within. And as I've been reading in some of the angel messages, and what we're being told is go within, because this is where everything you need is. It's not out there. It's the stability, the wisdom, everything that you need for your future life is in here. And it is God within. Or whatever you want to call it. It's the power of love. And it is love. That's what I feel. The new world that has actually arisen, that we are in now, is love, is the world of love, where love is the source of all. And so when we go within, we figure out, I actually have this beautiful place within me where there's peace and where I feel good. And so I can't hold on to my culture and my religion and all this anymore. So I've let it go, and I've maybe been in a lot of pain, releasing a lot of pain from the past and so on. but I feel much more whole because I'm not dependent on all these things anymore, because I'm me. So, and that's what I feel and I believe, and I realized this so many years ago, and it helped me so much, that the new culture that is going to be is the culture of the heart. It's a new human culture that's going to be for everyone. And it's not dictated by human beings outside you, or you are not controlled in any way. You are actually the maker of this new culture, just by listening to your heart. So this new culture will not look like the old cultures we knew, because it will be a culture where everything comes out of love. So there's, yeah. So this is really what I wanted to talk about in this video. That I think I opened this new playlist called Welcome to our new world of love, or something like that. And I might start a new channel, because it seems like something new it's just like I'm being asked to make a new channel called This Is Our New World of Love, because the new world of love is here. And everything old and all this stuff, all the struggling we have been through. So anything you feel in your life that's still heavy, or a bit unhappy, a bit difficult, it's just remnants of the old. It's the last little bits of dust from the old, and the new is really, really here. And it's all so. What is dictating your life now is your heart. And the more you trust your heart, that what am I to eat? How am I to dress? Where am I to live? Who am I to be with? All these things, they come from in here. They can only come from in here. You can ask your neighbor, ask your good friend. They can inspire you, but they can't tell you. And so the more we trust that all these messages we need, all this guidance to create the new, is coming from within. It is there. And to just relax and trust that we are given this wisdom as we can manage it. So some areas you just still feel, God, I don't know what's happening here. Where am I going to make my money? Where am I going to live? Whatever. Some things are still a bit strange, but when you just get this core feeling of goodness, that, as my mother said very, very wisely, and it was very beautiful, she just had this epiphany sort of a while ago, and she said, well, actually, I'm just right here. In all the things I could worry about, I'm actually just right here. And it feels so good. And that's all I really need to know. I'm here. I'm still here. But now I feel different, because I feel alive. I don't have to focus on all this worry and all this stuff that I can't work at. Just stay here where I am. And I feel great. And so that's really stepping into the new world. And then it's up to us to stay there. So when we get grabbed by fear, like I was the other day with the feed, to just realize, okay, I feel some fear now, but I know that I trust that in a little while I'll be back to just this peaceful state. And being in this new world is just, as I've said before, is really just being a channel for God. So your personality is not so important anymore. How old you are, and where you live, and what you believe or don't believe, and how many friends you have or don't have, or how many things you've experienced. It's not so important anymore, because it's you being alive in this moment, and that's what God can use. God uses, he wishes to fill you up and use you to create this new, to really manifest this new world that has come, to really build it up. And for him to use you, you just have to be present. And that's where nature is just the best, because it brings us to this presence. I'm right here. I'm right here. And that's what God can use. So, and when you go there, I'm right here. Those little calves, I have to see them. They sort of get lost sometimes, and then they just run over to their mum. Oh, heh. So cute. Ah, praise the Lord. So, back to our little study here. Yeah, because we're just so used to being in our mind and all the plans we have, and that's good because we need to plan. But living in the new world is very much just being, and realizing that we don't have to do so much anymore. And I have some, I'd really like to talk about what is this new world, and if any of you are experiencing this new world, just feel this beautiful well-being within you. Although you might have some physical ailments, but you feel this peace and well-being, and see how this new world is unfolding for you. Please write to me, and it'll be wonderful if you share it too, what you're experiencing. Which I think the camera's in the light there. Because it's just, this is just, I really believe this, that this has been expected to happen on the earth for thousands of years, and it's something that's never happened on earth. And what we have done, see that we have, talking about pride, we have so much to be proud of, we human beings, because we've come to this day, to this time on earth, and it's very, very difficult to be here. It was a very, very difficult thing that we have done. And what we have done is we have bridged heaven and earth. We have brought spirit and matter into each other. So before, spirit was, you had to go to the church and talk to the priest and go into deep meditation and go really remove yourself from the world to really feel this spiritual connection. And now we have brought spirit into matter. And the spirit was in matter, but it's conscious now. So everything is conscious in its own way, especially us awakened people who are awakening. We're conscious that we are spirit and we are matter. We're conscious of it. And that's what's happened. So I know I'm spirit. I feel I'm spirit. And I know I'm body. And I know there's no separation. It's two worlds that have just that are completely, how can you say it? They don't lose each other in each other, but they are present within each other. And of course, when we are in our spirit and at the same time in our bodies, our life will be is very, very beautiful. It unfolds in a very, very beautiful way. So what we're realizing is that we don't need to do so much. We don't need to use so much, because we feel so alive. We feel so stimulated by just being. Because there's all this life force in us. And just feeling alive. It's, in a way, it's like a constant, it sounds a bit weird, but it's like a type of orgasm that's going on all the time. It's this very, very beautiful sense of pleasure and well-being that's going on all the time, because you're alive. And it's really what the flowers are doing. They're just so vibrant, so full of life. So Yeah, it's just very, very, very beautiful what's happening and what. Uh, so we are the makers of this new world, and when I go and read some of the channelings, it's just the spirit world is so. I think we are uh, so courageous and so wonderful that we have done this, because it's human beings it's only human beings who could make this change on the earth, and it's through our love, forgiveness, through yeah, letting our heart rule our life. That's how we've brought heaven onto earth. So and when I look into my garden, when I look around me, there's never been so much beauty, and that's what they say. Everything is going to be just so shining with such beauty, because it's just alive with spirit. Everything is so just so alive. So yeah, praise the Lord for this new world that we have entered into, and thank you, all you brothers and sisters who have, with your journey and your pain and your suffering and your stamina, that you kept staying in a love state the best you could for so long. Thank you for doing that, so that we've come to this place today. So praise the Lord for this new world and this new life for all of us. Yeah, it's really, really good. So I'll see you soon, my friend. Take care. See you.